Hi, I'm Teresa.
And I'm Emily.
This is No Ordinary Friendship.
We've been best friends for forever. And while life has tried to keep us apart,
we won't let it. Join us as we catch up on pop culture, parenthood, and whatever's on our minds.
We promise a short break from real life, just for a little bit.
We all have our people.
And now you are one of them.
Hi, Emily.
Hello. Lucky episode 11. I think I'm going to say every episode is lucky.
Someone called our episode number 8 lucky, and I was like, ooh, is it lucky? I guess
I think
it should be.
I was looking at the stats, and I think people really liked when you talked about Cougar Night, because that's one of our most listened to episodes. So I feel like we should think of more topics like that.
I think maybe just the title was intriguing. Like, what are these two girls going to Cougar Night for?
We need more like interesting, mysterious titles. So we'll work on that.
But our content's good no matter what, listeners, right?
Yes.
Okay, apologies and corrections.
Yes.
Emily.
So last time we talked about Selling Sunset and you asked me, are there any new characters? And while I don't think she's an official new character, there definitely is a new girl that they brought into the mix. Did you see her yet?
No,
I know you're catching up.
3.
Okay, I think she shows up when they go to Cabo, but her name is Cassandra.
Oh.
I think it's Cassandra, but then you know how Chelsea has a British accent? So she's like,
Yeah.
Cassandra. And then I think other girls are now calling her Cassandra because Chelsea introduces her. So anyway, she's this Asian girl who supposedly knows Brie, but
Oh, so she's the Asian girl. Okay,
have you been
because I was
seeing little
asking.
clips?
I've been seeing little previews, and I asked some other friends that were watching Selling Sunset. I was like, oh, who is this Asian girl? And they were like, what Asian girl?
Yeah.
But I thought they watched the whole thing, so maybe she's very forgettable.
I think there are more episodes coming out too for this season. They did like a staged approach. But anyway, yeah, she's like, I feel bad because I would be pretty neutral to her. Like she just seems like a fine, like normal person. But I think because Brie had such a strong, like negative reaction to her, I'm like, Cassandra. For no reason at all.
The influence.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I started watching more and more Selling Sunset, but I just cannot get into it. Like all of them, besides the original characters, everybody else is just kind of, I don't know, like fusing into one like person for me. Because they're all, I don't know, they're all like, the glam is the same, the attitude is the same, the drama is the same.
Totally.
Still fun though.
I don't disagree, yeah. And I just find it too over the top, like the little video montages they do of like when they're walking to a restaurant to meet everybody. You know the producers are like, okay, strut, look like serious, because nobody walks like that unless they know they're being filmed, right? Like it's definitely just
Don't
for the
you also
show.
feel like, well, don't you walk differently when you're wearing heels?
I
And you know your hot stuff and you have all this glam and you're wearing this like $20,000 dress.
I guess I've never experienced that, so I don't know.
You would
How I
strut
would
too,
walk.
Emily.
Maybe. Let's do it one day. Rent the runway.
And just go to a local coffee shop. Okay, what breaking news do you have?
Okay, so wow, really exciting breaking news. Actually, it's not, but McDonald's did a collab. I was just like, this was so funny because this is like they designed it for Victor. It's two of his favorite things. Can you guess? Just take one guess who McDonald's did a collab with.
This is hard because the only thing I know about him is he likes surfing and he likes free clothes.
Okay, so neither of those, but McDonald's did a collab with Crocs.
Okay, I did not know that he's a Crocs person.
Well, he wears his Crocs everywhere. I guess you don't see it because you just see his Made Mortgage sweatshirt.
How does that work? Because Crocs are just plastic and McDonald's is food. Like, what is the collab here?
So it's actually kind of cute. They made, like, you know the characters from McDonald's from a long time ago, like the Hamburglar and that big purple guy? So they make Crocs that are in those themes. So there's like a yellow, I think her name was like French fry or little fry, I don't know. But they made Crocs like that. And then they also made the little Croc charms, like a little frack. And I ordered one for Victor.
Wait, you ordered him like the Crocs or the little?
No, just the little charms.
Yeah, okay, the things that you
cheap.
poke into the holes, right?
Yeah, like the Crocs themselves were like $80, and I was like, no, but I just got him the little charms.
Okay.
So he can put them on his existing Crocs.
I did not know this about Victor. Interesting.
Now the whole world knows, or our 20 listeners.
Wait, so then what is the other collab? Oh, wait, it's McDonald's and?
Yeah, McDonald's and Crocs.
Crocs.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating. Okay. All right. Victor, I can't wait to see your new fashion threads.
Okay.
What else happened?
And then the other thing I want to tell you about is just this past weekend, we went to a wedding of a good friend in LA, and we were like so happy to be invited, and it was all of us going to a wedding for the first time together. But can I just tell you, it is not for the faint of heart, because I love weddings. I love seeing like the bride walk down the aisle and how the groom looks at her. I love hearing their vows. I didn't get to hear any of that.
Because kids just tear that whole magic away from you.
Yes, and actually, Charlie did pretty well. Charlie's my 4-year-old, and we went into of course, we were late because LA traffic and Cassie's nap and all that, but we actually walked in after the bride walked down the aisle. But we got to see from behind. At least I didn't miss that. And then Cassie said she was scared of all the statues inside the church. So Victor had to just take her out before like he even sat down. And then me and Charlie sat for a while listening to the ceremony. But then eventually, you know, her attention span is short too. So we all ended up in like kind of the entranceway of the church while everybody else got to enjoy the wedding. And then the actual dinner party part was fine, except, again, just attention span. Like, I didn't get to hear any of the speeches. I was just, like, tending to Cassie, who was, like, running around. Just don't do it.
It's just not the same. It is not relaxing. And you're, like, running around in a very nice dress. You probably wore heels. It's just
I wore low heels, but yes, I had to run after Cassie so she wouldn't grab, like, an alcoholic drink off of a table. And I was like, oh, these were not made for running.
Oh, that is really hard, too, because, you know, at weddings, there's like everybody has 4 different glasses for like their wine, their champagne, their water.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff to grab, and it's like all very enticing and shiny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so hard.
Victor had the waiters clear all of our glasses except for he and I shared one drink. And then each of the girls had their water bottles.
They're like plastic water bottles that are all colorful.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm still glad I got to go because I do love being able to see old friends and see it happen. Right. But I had originally told Victor, like, hey, you should just go by yourself. And I think I was right, you know?
Maybe next time, I don't know how many more weddings we have, like, coming up because I feel like a lot of our friends are married now. But I don't know. Hopefully you get a babysitter next time or just don't take them.
I mean, when they're older too, like there were other kids at the wedding, but they were definitely all like 6 and older. And I think maybe that's the right age to start.
Yeah, so. The golden age. Yeah. Yes. Logan. Well, I took Logan to my brother's wedding. And I mean, that's a given, right? Because it was my brother's wedding. But he was not happy. He was not happy at all. But we had a lot of help, thankfully, because it was my brother's wedding. So we had a lot of family there and kind of just like pass him around. But it was like, it's just the sheer volume of things at weddings is like really tough on a small kid.
It is.
And thus very tough on the mom.
Yeah.
Okay, well, glad you made it back and had some good memories.
Yes. It was good overall. I want to end on that because Victor told me today, don't be a Debbie Downer.
Don't let your breaking news just be rants of the week.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me tell you something about somebody else's life that's kind of a downer.
Pop culture.
Well, pop culture. So I wrote Mahomes underwear. Do you even know who that is? Patrick Mahomes.
He is another football player, right? Because I've seen that his wife is sometimes next to Taylor Swift at the games. Look at me.
So look at you. He is on the same team as Travis Kelce. He's the quarterback, and he's very famous. I guess he's been playing in the NFL for about 5 years or so, and specifically for the Chiefs. But he recently disclosed, and this is like TMI. I don't really know why he disclosed this. I think it's like part of an interview. But he has Lucky underwear. He has a pair of red Lucky underwear that his wife bought for him 5 years ago. And he wears them all the time. And he wears them for every game day. Okay. And then he only washes them when they lose. Ooh. Okay. Think about that because he is on a team that is very, very good.
Sweaty.
And they've gone to the Super Bowl many times. I don't know how many games they've won, but the fact that they've gone to like a couple of Super Bowls the last couple of years means they've won a lot during the regular season, which means he hasn't washed that underwear a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that so gross? And he only... So it's not like you're just wearing it, right? Like like he's the quarterback. He's running around. Like he's a starting quarterback. So he's playing. He's sweating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you not have an infection or something?
That's disgusting. Maybe he airs it out in the sun or something.
I don't know, but I mean, it's working, right? Like
I guess it's working,
winning.
but like at what price? Like what's going to happen to his junk, when he's retired from football? He got that for life.
Maybe he'll get a new pair. I think it's like one of those superstitions. I feel like people really, really play into it, and it's working. It's really working. So
don't
why
they say,
stop
like,
a good thing?
All the athletes are super superstitious. Like I know, like basketball players, football players, baseball players. I mean, we all are superstitious, but probably not to that extent.
I mean, you did the manifestation thing.
Clearly, it did not work.
Part of us that always wants to believe.
Maybe I should have washed my underwear that night.
Oh, so gross. Imagine like going to work out, going to like a hot yoga class, and then not washing that underwear. Like, how could you even put it
weeks
on?
in a row?
Okay, this is way longer than I wanted to spend on this segment, but I thought you needed to know.
Yes.
Well, you didn't need to know, but it was so gross that I had to share with you. Okay, the other thing I want to tell you was sweater. I've been getting a lot of stuff on my TikTok that has been people just kind of calling out how it's sweater weather now, but if you actually look at not the ingredients. What is it? Wait,
material?
What's another word? Yeah, material for your clothing. Like it's a lot of synthetic fibers now. It is so hard to find natural material, natural fabric, or natural fibers. And people are really calling out Abercrombie because like their whole new collection is this wool blend, and it's super cute because they have nice cuts and stuff, but like there's literally no wool in there. Not even a little bit. Yeah, so it's like just false advertising.
Can they call it a wool blend then?
Yeah, so people are like, is that even legal to call it that? But regardless, like if you look at the latest trends in fast fashion, I'm like, this is really sad because I never really looked at materials in the past. Like, yes, I'll be like, okay, I'll justify this sweater if it's like 100% cashmere, 100% wool. But I was looking for a wool sweater, Emily. I could not even find a 100% wool sweater. It was so difficult. Every single one had like some like
acrylic
20, 30.
or something.
Yeah, acrylic, rayon, nylon. And I should know this, but like I see those things, I'm like, oh, it's cute, or like it's soft, whatever.
Yeah.
But this one TikTok really resonated because they're like, don't equate softness to quality. And I know, Emily, you love a nice soft sweater, like a t-shirt or something.
I do.
But because they go through that process of like, they go through this really harsh process of like making it super soft. And so in the long run, or even in the short run, it leads to a lot more pilling and more holes like very quickly than like, say, natural material.
That's like my Target pajamas that I told you I love. They are starting to pill already, and I'm not sure. Actually, I don't know what the material is, but they are super soft.
Probably polyester and rayon and all that stuff. And someone was like, our stuff is literally plastic now because a lot of these materials, I didn't know this either. Like fast fashion is bad enough, but when you like there's so many microplastics in these materials, and so every time you wash them, it's just going into our water system.
Yeah, there's microplastics in everything. Supposedly.
Everything.
And actually,
acrylic takes over 200 years to degrade.
Oh my gosh. Learned that. Well, we can make an effort to not buy stuff like that. And I actually do. I don't really know what acrylic is, but it always sounds weird to me that it's clothes because I think of like paint.
Nails,
and so sometimes people do post like really cute clothing on Amazon. So I'll click into it. And then when I look and it's like 100% acrylic, I actually don't buy it just because
good for you.
It's weird to me. And I also don't know. I feel like for some reason that it might be like lower quality if it's acrylic. But I was going to say, I feel like I can't really win because while I do like sweaters, even cashmere makes me itchy. Like I have really sensitive skin. So I don't really know what I can wear.
Well, you can wear 100% cotton. Like cashmere and wool is thin, but it keeps you very warm, and it also is breathable, which I think is like what high quality materials do.
Yeah.
And maybe you could wear like a camisole or something, like a cotton camisole. And
yeah, I need to really protect. It's my like elbows or like areas that rub a lot. So when I wear sweaters, it just like irritates me, and I get like eczema or whatever. So I need to figure it out. I was thinking I could maybe launch a product for people like me, where you have like a little like silk slip thingy that you put on your elbow, like almost like a sweatband, you know? But
you
like
are full of like side hustle ideas, Emily.
I feel like it could make it big on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not the
Should I do
anything
it?
I learned from TikTok is like you are not alone. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're experiencing, you're not alone.
Should I do it?
Yeah, do it. Let's chat after this.
Okay. Side hustle number 2.
Like number 5. Okay. Selling Sunset.
Yeah. Well, we already
Give me
talked
an
about
update.
Selling Sunset, but I was just going to say, I don't have to talk too much about it, but it's, again, just so ridiculous. Like, so they go to Cabo where Jason and Brett opened a new office, and they were saying like, oh, you know, LA has this new mansion tax and people are kind of pulling back on real estate, but you should really bring like the wealthy clients to Cabo because it's kind of a similar vibe in terms of weather, beach, and then there's a lot of really nice properties. So I think that's their intention. They opened an office there. But the girls show up like, I don't know, maybe because they weren't working and they were on sort of like vacation. Yeah. But they were wearing like swimsuits or, you know, just like something that only looks like a bra and like kind of cut out dresses. And then they show up to the office, and then the people who work in the Cabo office looks completely normal. Like they're at a 9-to-5 office. So like a button down shirt, you know, and they're like, hi, so nice to meet you. And it's like so like weird to me that they would show up to an office wearing that, you know?
Right. Like you can tell who's been on reality TV for a little bit too long, and they're a little bit delusional now. Okay, so I went to Cabo a couple months ago, right? Yeah, when we first launched a podcast. And I went to this boutique store, and she gave me her card. I was like, oh, I really love your stuff. She gave me her card. It was a real estate card. And she was like, wait, I guess she does her boutique as a side hustle, but she's actually a real estate
What if she's part of the Oppenheim group?
Oh, maybe. Well, she has the look for it, but she was saying how Cabo is such a great place to invest, and so many people from California are coming in and looking for property. And when she found out I was from California, she was like, oh, maybe like this could be a great place for you to invest. And I was like, I'm not coming back anytime soon to buy property, but I'll come back to your boutique and buy clothes.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I never thought about Cabo as somewhere people would invest. It just seems like a resort place to go.
But it is super close to California, so.
And
it's closer than Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I need to watch Selling Sunset. I didn't even know that they went to Cabo.
You don't have to. I mean, if you're not into it, there's so many other shows.
It's true. I like Rochelle. I like Mary. I'm starting to get into the drama with Mari Lou. I'm like, who are you, Mari Lou? Like, you're clearly just a 20-year-old.
Doesn't it feel like she's stirring up drama too, though? Like, Chriselle seems perfectly nice, but why would you want to be best friends with your ex's new girlfriend? Like, in what world, right?
Well, she needs a storyline, and I think producers were probably just like, this is something that you could drum up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think producers always have a hand in this. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I think she just needed her 15 minutes of fame. Why else would she be dating Jason, who's like 20 years older than her?
Aren't they broken up already? I feel like I saw on Instagram, like, before this season even launched, that they're not together. But I could be wrong. Could be misinformation.
You can apologize for that next week. We'll check it later.
Okay.
Okay, on to our Parenthood section.
Yes.
Do you know what third places are?
No. I mean, what's the
Have
context?
you ever heard of it before? Okay, I guess it's just a term that was coined in 1989 in a book. I looked it up, but it's essentially locations that facilitate social interaction outside of the people you live or work with, and they encourage public relaxation. So you encounter regulars or frequenters of the space, as well as potential new connections. And they're supposed to like foster like light-hearted conversations or pleasant conversations that are like free of any expectations of productivity. So you rest, you enjoy. So basically, like in Europe and Asia, they have a lot of these kind of like third spaces built in. And it's really helpful for people that are looking for some type of community that don't necessarily have to like go out, find a friend, like schedule a time, put it on your calendar, and then meet from like X time to Y. So you kind of like come and go, and it's very free flowing. And I was listening to this podcast. I was saying how loneliness has become an epidemic in the US and how people don't really talk about it, but really manifests itself into like physical symptoms sometimes. And COVID's made it a lot worse, especially for people that may have already been feeling isolated and like can't get back out there. And that just made me so sad because it like really boils down to like your mental health and how important it is to have community, kind of like how we were talking about Live to 100 and also like the type of community we want to build for our podcast. Because if you don't have your mental health, you really can't do anything else. Like it's debilitating for like anything else that you want to achieve for yourself, your family, like career aspirations. So I don't know, listeners, like make sure you take your mental health break. Make sure you check on your friends and like people you don't really chat with sometimes because that's so important. And I put this in the parenthood section because I feel like moms specifically start to feel more and more isolated after they give birth or and it also reminded me of these where, like I said, like in Europe and in Asia, like they have these big squares. So like kids are done with school or people are done with work. They go to these squares. They kind of hang out. There's a little local market. There's little coffee shops. People sit around and they kind of chat. You kind of see people that you always see because it's in the neighborhood. It has to be like really intentional.
Is it like government funded in Asia and Europe? Or is it something that like you pay for?
Oh, no, it's not something you pay for. It's just something that's free. I mean, it could be something you pay for. Like, I guess a movie theater could technically be a third space or like some kind of club, like a tennis club or something.
So it's not like a defined type of place. It's more like how people use the place.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's how I interpret it.
Because I was just thinking like maybe for us pre-kids, the dog park was a third place for me and Victor because we would just go regularly almost every day, take waffle there, and we would meet random people and like chat with them. And because it was like everybody's routine, you start to get to know people and like it is a little community.
And you already have like a common interest, your dog, and you kind of and you have other friends, but like for some people maybe like their only source of interaction with people. But it's like a solid place to meet people if you need to like have some type of engagement with another human.
I need that a little bit. Like I'm a pretty big introvert, so for the most part I'm happy staying at home, but I do feel like it helps to like see other people or have a little bit of that in your week. And right now, this is it, talking to you on the podcast.
Yeah, it's meant to be a place to like rest and enjoy the ambiance and white noise as well. You don't even have to engage with some people, but like just to even have to be around others that are interacting can be really helpful for people's mental health too.
Yes.
Emily, go get after it. Find your third place. It's hard.
Find me a third place.
It's hard in America because like everything's just really scheduled and planned out. And you put it on your calendar, right? And it has to be like from this time to this time. And it's so structured and coordinated.
Like, friendly to just make friends on a whim, you know?
Right. Yeah. And I think that's why like neighborhoods are so nice too, if you have that.
Yeah. Like
it seems like you kind of have that. Yeah. For any new listeners, Emily used to live in Playa Vista and she's been trying to get our entire friend group to move down there.
We visited last weekend and it was still very nice and we love it so. And it does actually, I think you're talking about this third places, it actually has a lot of places like that because you live in the neighborhood. A lot of people are either in like kind of like this young life stage or maybe like young kids life stage, so you have that in common, and then you can go at your own like free will. It's not like a scheduled thing and you run into people you know, so it's kind of just like you feel nice and a sense of community. I love that. And I think it's so hard to find because, I found out recently that I don't really get along with a lot of moms. and I think it's because it's in this like very formal setting related to like our kids. It's supposed to be like like a fun get together for moms. And I feel like it just felt a little bit forced. And maybe I've been out of the game for too long. Like I don't know how to talk to people as easily as I used to.
But just because we're all moms and all our kids go to the same school does not mean we should be friends. Like, that's what I am trying to tell myself.
That's true. It's true. Yeah. You can't force it. Maybe it's just the wrong group, you know?
Yeah.
You'll find your people.
Yeah. We definitely stood there in some awkward silences. I was like, okay, I can go home now. Talk to Emily.
Text me while you're there.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to tell me about preschool tour again?
Okay, very quickly. Very quickly. So I feel like I'm numb now to the whole experience. But yesterday I went to one and I walked out. And after like 5 minutes. And I was so proud of myself because typically preschool tours are like an hour, hour and a half. And they said some stuff and I was like, oh, this is not the right fit. And I just left.
Good.
And
yes.
Yeah. Because or else I feel like normally I would feel bad and I would like listen to the whole presentation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just left, got myself a coffee and actually went to another tour that I like told them I wasn't going to because I picked the other one.
Yeah.
So it's good
for you. Yeah. I think it's really hard for people, maybe women, and then to even narrow it down, Asian women, to like kind of say no to things or like, you already know, but you feel too polite to, you know, do something.
Yeah.
And so good for you.
They shouldn't care either. Like, don't waste your time talking to me about this school. I'm not going to be joining. Thank you.
Yeah. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. I was proud of myself.
So I randomly was thinking about under Parenthood. So Cassie turned 2 yesterday. Big milestone for us.
Happy birthday, Cassie.
But I was thinking about, like, you know, people talk about these big milestones, like crawling, walking, all that stuff. And there are some random milestones that people don't talk about. And one of them that came to mind, because Charlie has already crossed that line, but Cassie hasn't, is when your adorable, sweet toddler starts to have morning breath.
I actually think about that because, because my kids don't have morning breath and my husband does. So it's like such a stark contrast.
Oh, Tyler doesn't have it yet?
No.
I don't remember
when. Start?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember. But Charlie, I feel like definitely when she was 3. So I thought Tyler might be there. But yeah, she definitely has it sometimes. And, you know, they're very, like, close to your face talkers.
Oh, so close.
So she comes in the mornings like, good morning, Mama, like right up in my face. I'm like, oh,
and they're definitely
Charlie.
Mouth breathers too.
Yeah. But Cassie still hasn't gotten there, so I'm going to like enjoy her closeness while I can.
I had no idea that they start this early with morning breath. I thought it was like maybe.
I mean, maybe you're blessed and he won't for a while. But yeah, she definitely did. And then another thing is like, I guess now that I have 2, I can compare. Like Cassie's, the bottoms of her feet are still like baby soft. And Charlie's are definitely nowhere near like mine. But like they're definitely getting like a little harder.
Already?
You know, just
a little bit more calloused.
Not calloused, but just like you can feel the skin is like definitely tougher than Cassie's. And it's all these little things that like it happens without you really realizing. And then all of a sudden they're going to be like a full-fledged adult, you know?
Does that make you emotional?
No.
Yeah, you're very non-emotional. This is listeners, Emily doesn't cry in any movies.
I've become more of a crier now that I'm a mom. And I don't know if it's like hormonal or because I'm a mom. I definitely get like teary-eyed. Like when I walked into the church for the wedding, I like felt like just like a little bit of emotion bubbling up. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to cry? But of course I couldn't because I couldn't enjoy the ceremony.
But I feel like you may tear up or you like, there's times when I remember you're like, oh, I thought about tearing up. Wow, I'm like full on bawling.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I've never been a big crier. I am more so now. But I mean, I think just because I'm in the thick of it right now, I'm kind of looking forward to like a little bit more freedom and independence. But I'm sure like when I'm there looking back, I'm going to be really emotional because it is like such a cute time right now. Like they love me so much. They only want to talk to me, you know, like at some point they're going to be like, Mom, get out of my room. Or like, no, Mom, I'm not going to stay for dinner. I have plans, you know? So
yesterday at the preschool tour, there was this wall where kids had their like, pictures of their families up, which is very common in all preschools. But each kid had a card that their parents wrote to the child. And I was reading them and I was like tearing up. And I was like, I'm at a preschool tour. I need to hold myself together right now. But it was just like, we're so proud of you. Of like little, like these kids can't even read it, but I know the parents like poured their genuine feelings into it.
Yeah.
It made me so sad.
It is so funny because I think most people would judge me and think that I'm like very emotional and a big crier. Maybe because I have like a high voice. Like if they looked at the two of us, right, they'd be like, oh, Teresa's definitely the tough one. And Emily probably like, cries on a whim. And it's like the opposite.
It's totally the opposite. Wait, what is your sign? I feel like I'm full on in LA. Maybe I should move to LA.
Yes. Playa Vista. I'm Aquarius, although I never feel the descriptions for Aquarius never resonate with me.
What are like the top line descriptions?
They always say like, oh, she has her head in the clouds. She doesn't conform to society. She's a little bit like backwards thinking or out of the box thinking. And I feel like I've just always been very like a rule follower, obedient, very traditional career path.
So very different.
Yeah. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because like I was always such a like obedient kid to like parents, to teachers. So I didn't let my free-flowing Aquarius out. And it's somewhere deep down inside of me, the one who manifests wealth.
I actually do think you're an out-of-the-box thinker, though. I think you're pretty creative. Your head is not in the clouds in a bad way, though. We started a podcast.
That's
I would
true.
never think to
That
like
is out
start
of
a
the box.
podcast if you didn't suggest
Text
it.
you.
Because for Cancer, it's emotional. And I feel that's very accurate.
Charlie is also a Cancer.
Is she emotional?
Is like 8 days after yours. She
a little
is
sensitive.
She's super emotional. Like she picks up on things, and then like if I don't treat her the exact same way that I treat Cassie, she'll be like, but you didn't do it to me. And I'm like, okay. It was literally like patting her head or something. You know?
She just wants equality, damn it, Emily.
I know. I try really hard to be very fair to them.
I looked up their signs too, my kids' signs, and they're really close to one another. One is like, they're just on the border. Like one's the 14th of the month and the other one is the 31st of the month. And I feel like it's completely wrong. Like it should be switched. But we'll see. We'll see what they're like when they're older.
Yeah. I'll look up what an Aquarius description is so I can tell you next time because I might be wrong.
I can't wait.
It's like a water sign. So that's all I know. That's probably wrong too.
Cancer is too.
Oh, really?
Cancer's because I'm a crab. I'm crabby.
I'm like two little waves or something. Oh no, that's not me. I don't know what I am. Okay, I'll look it up. Okay. So I was going to ask you actually, are you a leftovers family? Like when you guys eat at restaurants and you have like a little bit of food left, do you take it to go or do you just leave it?
Yes, I'll take it to go.
Always?
I definitely take it to go.
Okay.
If it's something that we don't even really, like, I don't think anyone's going to eat it. Yeah, we didn't finish it because we didn't enjoy it. Then I probably won't take it. But I just feel bad sometimes.
Same.
If we don't take it.
So,
but I also feel bad if they're like giving me this huge box and it's just for like a little portion too. I don't like that.
Totally. So I'm definitely a leftovers person. And I think growing up, like very anti-food waste, like our family always ate everything. So I always take things to go. But I think more than 50% of the time, I take it to go, bring it home, put it in the fridge, and then like a week later, I throw it away. And I feel a little bit bad both ways. But also, like, I think Victor and maybe Victor's family is not a leftovers family. So not everyone in the world does this. And I think because of me, he does it now. Like, we always take things. And it's helpful because since I'm at home all the time, most of my lunches during the week are like leftovers from meals.
Girl lunches, yeah.
Yes. And it's just, I like that it's mindless. Like, I don't have to think, oh, what should I go get or what should I eat? I just eat whatever is left over.
Yeah.
But like that makes me wonder, should I stop doing it all the time? Like, should I be more realistic of like, are we really going to eat this? And if not, be okay with not like even at home, you know, if I make a meal and there's leftovers, I pack it up. But a lot of times it doesn't get eaten. And I'm just like, do I bother? I don't know. I'm like very torn on that.
I feel like every time we take stuff to go, like the leftovers to go, we do eat it because it's so much tastier than the stuff that we make at home. When we have leftovers after like a home cooked meal, nobody wants to eat that the next day. So for us, I still feel like it's worth it to like bring leftovers home. It's like a free meal.
Yeah.
If there's enough of it.
I'll keep doing it. But I wish that I would remember sometimes like that I have leftovers that I could try to feed the kids versus like racking my brain like, what should I make for dinner tonight? And then 2 days later, I throw away those leftovers that were really good.
Yeah, that is sad. I remember for the longest time too, like when I was just living by myself, I would take the leftovers home and then eat it later that night.
I could see you doing that. You're like such a late night snacker, I feel like.
I'm such a late night snacker. Are you not?
No. I mean, I think I used to be way more of a snacker in general. And then I got Invisalign, which I told you I did. And I think that for some reason, like, made me quit my snacking habit because I was too lazy to have to go and like brush my teeth again in between. So I just ate my meals. And then like my job when I was in LA was so busy that I barely had time to eat lunch. So I think like my body just adjusted away from snacking, which I really miss because I used to be like the most snackiest person. But now I'll just like usually have like breakfast, maybe like a snack in between breakfast and lunch. And then to tide me over to dinner, maybe like a snack before I pick up the girls. But it's not like throughout the day.
Yeah. Yeah, probably better for your health long term anyway.
Also, I eat dinner so late, I don't have time to eat a snack after that because I'm just like going to get ready for bed.
I don't know how you eat dinners at 8 p.m. I'm dying.
Oh, it's like 8:30 to 9.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was nice chatting with you.
You too.
I will
Thanks
talk
for
to you next
listening,
week.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.